Navajo. Let's begin. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Rodney's Life Experiences. There's so much that I could talk about. I'm going to talk about something that was a real life changer for me. That is called Reiki. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the term Reiki. What Reiki is an ancient Japanese healing modality. It's called energy healing. My introduction, I was living in Arizona in 2015, and I complained that my arm is killing me, because again, I'm an amputee. I'm missing my right arm at the elbow, and I go through what's called phantom limb pain. A person then put their hand on me and took the pain completely away. And I was shocked, because I have tried so many things, so many pharmaceuticals, acupuncture, ferroblock clothing, which has metal fibers sewn into it to stop the ether, really everything. And this Reiki was the only thing that ever had immediate and lasting results. I said, "What the F did you just do?" And the person said, "It's called Reiki." I said, "I must learn this Reiki." Again, I was living in Arizona at that time, and every Wednesday went to a yoga class. And after that yoga class, a Navajo Medicine woman led us through a sort of ceremony healing group for 2 to 3 hours. And I was the only man in this group. This is worth noting, and we'll get into that at a later video. So in these Heal the Healer sessions, Lavina, who was the Navajo Medicine woman, extremely gifted, oh my God, she would lead us through guided meditations, pull cards for us, and teach us Reiki, as well as bring us out to sacred circles that we would help to maintain, help to work on her Hogan. It was really quite an honor to be taken under the wing, so to say, of such a powerful medicine woman. And I knew immediately that I wasn't going to be in America that long, and I had to learn this Reiki. And it's called Traditional Reiki by Mikao Usi, who's Japanese. A little bit of history. Mikao lived in a cave for a while, and he more or less said that, I know there's more to being human, and I'm not going to leave here until I discover what that is. He was then shown, and he came down the mountain, and he began his healing journey. Fast forward a few years, and he brought it to America, and he was offering it for free, and nobody was interested. Absolutely nobody was interested. Went back to Japan for a while. There's a bunch of stories involved where he found the people that he'd healed were back on the street begging, and he asked, why are you doing this? They said, "You've taken away our livelihood." They really had no other training. Begging was their way of life. So he brought it back to America, to North America, but this time he charged like $10,000 to learn it, and people ate it up. And this is so often the case, that you give something away and people think it has no value. So he charged, and then sort of the snowball started. But he teaches, there's 3 levels in traditional Reiki, level 1, 2, and 3. How I equate it is we can all heal to a certain degree without any training. I've personally done it. Level 1, you go through what's called attunements. You learn phrases, you learn symbols. Level 1, there's no phrases, no symbols. And it brings your healing up about 50 times stronger, which is pretty significant. Level 2, which offers, distance and emotional and healing, is about 500 times stronger. And level 3, which is the top level, is about 5,000 times stronger. It's kind of like with no Reiki, you hear some noise out there, and you know there's some intelligence behind it, but you don't know what it is. Level 1 is like this old radio and static, and you hear, oh, this is music. This is a radio station. Level 2, it's clear and it's in your car and you can hear every word. And level 3, it's like you're in a symphony hall and it's just everywhere. It really, really is extremely powerful. When I was being attuned, it will bring you to tears. It's you're recognizing who you always have been, but you need these attunements to. There's a few ways of looking at it. The attunement helps to connect you to the higher powers, and Reiki is the only modality, the only healing method that calls upon the higher powers. Whatever you call that, Father Sky, Mother Earth, it calls upon those. And we're the conduit and we heal. The healing comes through us from above, from below, from the heart and out, and heals people. Many other modalities, quantum touch and stuff, they don't claim this. And in being so that this comes from the divine, I truly believe there is no more powerful method of healing. Diane Steen, who wrote the book Essential Reiki, I've watched a bunch of her videos, and she was having tea with a nun one day, and a student came over, and Diane did a Reiki attunement on the student in front of the nun. The nun was quiet and just watched Diane do her thing. And when the student left, the nun said to Diane, she goes, what you did is called an atonement in the Catholic Church. Exactly the hand symbols that you did, exactly the phrases that you used are used in our Catholic Church. And this makes a lot of sense because the church, the priests, they can pray and they seem to have a higher connection, a higher ability to healing. And anybody can attain this through Reiki. I've attuned many people, dozens of people. I brought people up to level 3. And so you reach 1, 2, and 3, and then when you personally attune somebody, then you're classified as a Reiki master. And it is really just the ability to pass along that. And it's quite a procedure. You got to close your Kegel and you stop the divine from channeling through you, and you channel what you have been gifted to that other person. And this is why lineage is important. Like my Reiki master, Lavina, I'm not going to say her last name, she was trained in Japan in the original Reiki school of Mikao Usui. So very, very, very blessed. And I have since, I learned that in 2015, finished level 3 in 2016. I have worked on literally thousands of people, Carl. And each person, they're profoundly impacted. I've had people that have, been in tears, said, you don't understand. I couldn't walk before, now I just run and jumped in my bed like I'm a teenager. She goes, you don't understand. I've had people that have been stung by a wasp, and you put your hand on them and you do some Reiki and the pain is gone. I've treated addicts that, hunched over and they can't straighten up. And I says, let me give you Reiki, Kenny. And I gave him Reiki. I says, now straighten up. And he straightened up and he started crying. He says, I haven't been able to stand straight for months. So I don't know how to express it powerfully enough. Reiki works. I'm one of these kind of guys that show me before I believe. I was personally shown. The pain was taken away from me. So I encourage each and every one of you to look into this deeper. Reiki, it's called. I mean, I can teach you. I would just get you to read a few books, do attunements on you, and answer any and all questions you may have. Or go into your community. Go find a Reiki master, practitioner somewhere, and learn this healing art. Even if you don't want to work on anybody else, just for yourself. And the thing with Reiki is, the more you do it, it's like when you run water through a hose. You know, the hose might be clogged up initially, but the more water that you run through it, the cleaner and faster it comes out. We are that conduit that it flows through. So the more that we do it, the cleaner and purer we become. It really is profound. The more Reiki you give, it not only impacts the people that you're giving Reiki to, but it impacts you personally. I hope that explained Reiki a little bit to you guys. It's changed my life. I've been practicing since 2016. Thousands of people. I've got the signage. I've worked at events, and every single person is like, wow, you helped me. And that's a beautiful thing to be able to do, to help your brothers and sisters. Love you all. Take care. We'll talk really soon. And I encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Take care. Bye.